In 2008, nestled in the quiet suburbs, Tim Brown's life took an unexpected turn towards the inexplicable. One ordinary evening, as the house lay bathed in silence and the world outside whispered with the wind, Tim noticed something peculiar in his dimly lit living room. There was a movement, a subtle shift in the shadows that skirted the edge of his vision. At first, it appeared to be nothing more than a fleeting trick of the light, but as he focused, the form became clearer, more distinct. It was a figure, standing just beyond the reach of the lamplight, cloaked in darkness. The figure was unsettlingly still, yet its presence filled the room with an unshakable sense of foreboding. Every instinct in Tim urged him to dismiss it as imagination. Yet each time he blinked, the figure seemed to draw imperceptibly closer. It was an eerie, surreal moment. The figure's details were obscured, yet its outline suggested something ominously familiar. The room grew colder, the air denser, as if the very shadows were alive with a quiet, menacing intent. This was the beginning of Tim's journey into a realm beyond the normal, an encounter with a presence that defied all logic, standing at the threshold of our understanding of the seen and the unseen. As days slipped into nights, Tim's encounters with the shadowy figure grew more frequent. Each appearance was unannounced, unpredictably manifesting in corners of rooms, down the hallway, or in reflections of windows and mirrors. The figure, a dark silhouette crowned with the unmistakable outline of a broad-brimmed hat, seemed to be ever lurking, ever watching. Tim's initial shock gradually morphed into a mixture of fear and an insatiable curiosity. Sleep became elusive as the nights were filled with the anticipation of its next appearance. The once familiar comfort of his home transformed into a landscape of shadows and uncertainties. Every creak of the house, every flicker of light, sent a jolt of adrenaline through his veins. The figure never spoke, never made a sound. Its presence was marked by a palpable chill, a shift in the air, as if it were consuming the warmth around it. Tim began to research, delving into old books and online forums, seeking anyone who had experienced something similar. Stories of the Hat Man, a spectre witnessed by people across cultures and centuries, began to emerge from the depths of folklore and urban legends. This entity, often described as an omen or a guardian of the threshold between life and death, had been etched into the annals of paranormal encounters, yet remained shrouded in mystery. Each story mirrored Tim's experiences, painting a portrait of encounters that defied the bounds of conventional understanding. Fear mingled with fascination as Tim realized he was part of a much larger narrative, a participant in a phenomenon as ancient as it was inexplicable. The figure, a sentinel from the shadows, had chosen him for reasons he could not yet comprehend. The climax of Tim's harrowing experiences with the shadowy figure came one stormy night, a night where the howling wind outside mirrored the turmoil within him. As lightning fractured the sky, Tim lay in bed, his eyes fixed on the ominous darkness that had become his constant companion. That's when it happened, the most intense encounter yet. The room grew colder, a coldness that seeped into his bones. The shadows in the corner of his room began to coalesce, swirling into a denser, darker form. The Hat Man emerged from this void, more defined than ever before, standing at the foot of Tim's bed. It was as if the storm outside had given it power, making it more tangible, more real. For the first time, the Hat Man's eyes became visible, glowing faintly in the dark room. They held a depth that was both terrifying and mesmerizing. The figure raised a hand pointing directly at Tim, a gesture that felt both accusatory and inviting. The air was thick with a sense of impending revelation. This encounter was a turning point for Tim. The fear that had gripped him transformed into a resolve to understand. Who was this Hat Man? Why was he haunted by this apparition? Tim's search for answers began in earnest. He dove into historical records, paranormal research, and eyewitness accounts, seeking to unravel the mystery of the Shadow People. His journey led him through a labyrinth of theories, interdimensional beings, spirits of another realm, psychological manifestations. Yet, the true nature of the Hat Man remained elusive, a puzzle pieced together from countless stories and experiences, each adding a layer to the enigma. Tim's quest had just begun, a quest that would lead him deeper into the unknown, into the world of the shadow people.